So, based off of experience and just living life, there are a lot of things that I have noticed that are not necessary, and these are the things I'm going to discuss in this video. So, the first thing on my list that I will no longer be giving my energy to is over explaining myself. I feel like I've heard this so much, people talk about it, and it's just something that really drains you, especially whether you're in the workspace, whether you're in the business space, whether relationship, whether it's just a conversation. The earlier we learn to talk about things without over explaining or making sure that other people understand us, the better for us, because most times other people will just want to take whatever they want to take from the conversation, no matter how you over explain yourself. You can explain yourself without over explaining. Say what you have to say, keep it brief, but don't go about over explaining yourself. And many times, some of us will have boundaries. Oh no, I don't want to go to this particular place, and people will be asking you, oh, why? I just don't like it. That's a good enough answer to that kind of question. You don't have to start saying, oh, because I don't want this, or because of this, or because of that. That's over explaining. Like, I even just remember a particular time when I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was asking me, oh, why don't you want to go to this place? I was like, I just don't want to go. And that was like a very new thing for me. The person also asked me again, oh, why? What's wrong? Why don't you want to go? I just don't want to go. Like, that's the answer. I just don't want to go. So I feel like the earlier we learn this, especially with boundary setting as human beings, when people ask us different things about us that we don't want to talk about, or we just already know the answer to and we just want to clear it out, no need to over explain. Over explaining is just allowing other people have access to how you think, right? But yeah, there are some people in your lives that deserve that, and that is solely dependent on you and who you think those people are. Like, for example, it could be your spouse, it could be your sisters, your brothers, your mom, your dad. Yeah, those kind of people deserve over explaining. But people that do not really matter much to you, or your friends, some of your close friends too, but people that do not really matter to you, they do not deserve your over explaining, right? So that's one thing I'm no longer putting my energy to. My no is my no, my yes is my yes. I'm not over explaining to anyone except those people that I feel deserve those answers. But if not, we keep it pushing. Yeah, so the second thing that I'm no longer giving my energy to is overextending myself. And as someone who grew up being very nice, you do it to the detriment of yourself, it becomes a very terrible thing, especially when you start to get older. So when I learned this lesson was when I actually entered university. I kind of learned that, these things are not necessary. Like, you start to see that people would actually, kick you for it. And that's not to say that it should change you, but it should make you wiser as a person. You should also understand that you're dealing with other human beings, and people would use you when you allow them to use you. In order to protect yourself, you should do things for people, but it shouldn't be at your own detriment. So overextending, like doing things, adding a lot of stress, committing, doing a lot of things that would impose stress on you, but you still go ahead to do it, is overextending. So things like that, I learned a long time ago that is not necessary in life. Over committing to things, oh yes, I'm going to be there, oh yes, I'm coming to your house, oh yes, I'm doing this, oh yes, I'm doing that. I'm not saying you shouldn't show up for people. I love, showing up for people when it's important, but when it's at the detriment of your own goals, your own happiness, your own life, your own stress-free living, it's not necessary. Ensure that you are not overextending yourself for anyone, which most times stems from people pleasing. If you know that you're doing what you're doing because you want to please someone, then that's an issue. But if you're doing it because that's who you are, you just want to help this person, then that's okay, and it doesn't affect you in any way, then that's totally awesome. Okay, so that's one thing I learned that doesn't help and will just leave you, you know, I don't want to say compromise, but you can never pour from an empty cup. Moving on to number three is overthinking. You guys, I had another video of overthinking in one of my previous videos, and overthinking is just very unnecessary. I'm a very huge overthinker, but these days I kind of have noticed that I don't overthink as much. When I see that I'm overthinking a particular situation, I either act on it, I pray, or I just think about something else that will move me forward. I These days I try my best not to overthink, because they don't move you forward. They keep you stuck in a loop, anxious, stressed out. So If it's out of my control, I'm not going to be stressing over it. Not this year, not ever. So this is just very simple and straightforward. Go watch my other video on overthinking, and I hope it blesses you as much as it blessed me. So the fourth thing is arguing. I used to be the kind of person that would banter back and forth, but these days I'm learning that is not important. Like, I want to bring it to social media space. I've kind of realized or learned that I'm never going to drop a very long comment on somebody's post when they are saying something that I do not agree with, because there is literally no point. Every comment on that post is giving, that kind of post more push and more virality. If I do not agree with what someone is saying online, I just swipe. Most times I can go as far as blocking the person so that I never see the person's post again. That is how I am. But for me to comment on your post and argue and go back and forth, that's a very, 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 very long thing. And most times, not arguing has taught me that most times giving no response sometimes is very good, but that's sometimes you actually have to give responses to people, because people will literally be saying anything. Yeah, but I feel like wisdom is profitable to direct. So you need to know when to talk and when not to talk. Like, I mean, do whatever pleases you, but arguing, especially on social media, coming to be bantering and talking about what another person thinks on this internet, I'm not going to be doing that because it's not necessary. It's just a waste of my time. Most times people already have, their sentiment, their biases, things they already think about. And no matter what anybody's coming to tell them on the internet, they're not going to change their mind because they literally sat down and made a video about it. They thought about it before they made that video. So that is what they think. So you coming to attack them is not going to bring anything profitable out of it. I rather, make a video on my own page talking about the topic in my own view instead of arguing with somebody else online. But that's just me. This last one is so important, and it just made me realize that not everything, I'm literally learning this thing, not everything deserves a response. And that is, I'm not giving my energy to getting out of character again by the grace of God, because I feel like people would literally get under your skin. I had an event like that, I think was not 2 weeks ago, and this lady was literally pissing me off. I was so pissed off, and I was just looking at her like I was almost about to lose myself by literally giving it to her. But I just had to, my logic came in quick and was like, don't do anything, just leave her. And I was so pissed off all through that day. And because I'm such a self-reflective person, I thought about it and I'm like, I do not want anybody to ever get me out of character. Like, there's a particular character that you have as a person. There's a particular character that you like to be in as a person. Like, for me, I like anything peaceful. I don't like wahala. I like everything good, my environment peaceful. I'm just happy living my life. That is my vibe. So if you want to piss me off and make me to be talking at the top of my voice, shouting, making me want to get aggressive, I'm not going to be doing that with you. I'm not going to be doing that with you. And I'm literally practicing. And, I hope by the grace of God that I get to a point where, you literally say something crazy and I will not give you a response. I think I was even watching Lincoln Lawyer. There was a particular episode. One of the lawyers was like, oh, F you and all of that. And Mickey, that is the Lincoln Lawyer guy, did not say anything. And that episode taught me so much, you guys. That episode taught me so much. As little as that scene was, I learned a lot, because why do I have to react to you insulting me? It's not necessary. I won't say anything. That's what I'm learning. I'm not saying I'm there yet, but that's what I'm learning. Like, I feel like it's so important, not to get out of character, because people would push you. So I hope this conversation was helpful. I hope we had fun in this chit chat. I don't know, I just felt the need to talk about these things because these are things that I've been seeing and I've been experiencing in my life. And I'm like, we're not doing that again. And that does not make anyone less of a good person. In fact, having boundaries, having experiences, having the kind of character you want to be in, taking care of yourself and putting yourself first does not and will never make anyone a bad person. Rather, it makes you even more self aware. It also makes you a better person to also achieve your goals. And I hope that this video has blessed you as much as it has blessed me. So I'm Quincy, and I'll be back with another video.